Hey guys, Nick here. Happy Friday, everyone. As usual, I'll give it some time so everybody can join the stream. At any point, if you have any question, just let me know. You can ask in the chat. And if you need a Discord link because you want to share your March so that I can review live, you can also just ask. I will put it in the chat on the YouTube, no worries. And today what we're going to do is review some March, answer questions. I'm also going to go over the patch note that I've been out for a few days. If you have any question regarding that, just wait for that moment. And also do a give a code later on, a giveaway probably around 8 or so. It's a VIP code, so there's a few goodies in there for 1%. While we wait, I will look at the TOS going on at the moment. Oh, dartboard here. Early ranking depends a lot on if people hit you. Nobody hit me today, so I'm still quite low on the ranking. M14 is showing up more and more in the ranking. It's a new legendary season server, so we're going to see them a lot more. Oh, and we're also going to talk about today, because the matching will be released, and we're going to be able to look at some of the KVK's result. Hopefully we're going to get a good matching result, not only for our server, but for everybody. Now, this is for legendary season. If you look at some of the other season, they are not in the matching. They're already playing. So it's all for the legendary season. So quite a few older server are going to know who they're going to be fighting for the next month. As for TOS, it's the first day of the new TOS. Welcome guys. I'll give it a little bit more time so everybody join. I'll start with the patch note because I've already had a lot of questions when it comes to the patch note. I think this patch note is a little bit more for late players. What I mean late is those in the later seasons, because it involves a lot of Tengu and the new TOS skill, which is not going to be available for early seasons, but there are a few other things that we need to look at. Welcome guys. All right, I'll give it 2 more minutes so that people can join, and then we'll get started. Again, if you have a question in the meantime, you can always ask. This is a new season here. I think it's the 2nd day of the arena season. I don't really gem arena. I don't think it's worth it. It's almost the end of the open arena. I've been testing Fufe instead of Poseidon, and she is not as strong as Poseidon. Poseidon is too strong even with guard being currently banned. Poseidon in open arena is just too strong. I don't think there are many teams that is not using Poseidon in the top 20. I'm 22 at the moment, and I think I'm one of the only that is not using Poseidon in the top 20. I know GM is using Wukong. I think Wukong is a little bit better than Fufe even, but everybody else is using Poseidon. Poseidon is just too strong in open arena. Can show some of the report. I'm also mixing 2 March at the moment to set up. I have my Baldwin carry, which is quite strong with Fufe, but still not strong enough against Poseidon. And I also have a Eliz carry setup. The problem with the Eliz carry setup is that Theo is not banned. And, oops, sorry. In this season. So if I face Theo, this happens. I don't do damage because of the Theo skill canceling my continuous damage on my Eliz. So that's why I most of the time go with the Baldwin. But yeah, this was a test to see if Fufei could do better than Poseidon, given that guard is banned at the moment. It's a failed attempt. Poseidon is still too strong. Yes, so the game time, guys, is the same for everybody in the game. The time here you see UTC, it's the same for every single one, no matter where you are in the world. So it's going to reset in 55 minutes for everybody. We are going to know the result for the matchmaking of the KVK Legendary Season in 55 minutes. Will I live stream Frost? Yes, I want to live stream Frost, some of the fights, some of the siege, for sure. Now, the thing is, for live streaming Frost, it depends a lot on the matchup. If I get a interesting matchup with a lot of fights, for sure it's going to be interesting to live stream. But if it's either one-sided we lose or one-sided we win, it's not as interesting for you guys if I live stream fights, if there's no fights. But yes, I'm planning to live stream some of the content of Frostborn, because I do think a lot of players are soon going to Legendary Season from Conquest. Now it's the 4th season already for the Legend of Frostborn. A lot of seasons from Conquest are starting to tip over Legendary, and they have a lot of question on what is different. So I'll be able to use the live stream to kind of showcase that at the same time. Yes, so the another question here. The seasons are not at the same time when it comes to Conquest and Legendary. Same thing with the Season 1, 2. They're all mismatched. It depends on how old your server is. The only one that are going to be at the same time are the later ones. So Conquest all start at the same time. And Legendary Season are also going to start at the same time. Now, one thing that has been kind of I would say small concern for sure, it's the skill that you have in the TOS shop. So basically here you see we have Grace, but in my server 277, we have not had the chance to buy the skill yet. But the players that were in the first season of Legendary has been able to get the skill after the previous KVK ended. That means they have access to the skill, but we don't. But we might still face them in KVK. So they have a skill that we cannot use, but we're still playing against them. That is something that I think we need to be careful as soon as we're going to see the matching, because Grace is a good counter to Crit Bill, and Crit Bill is working really well at the moment. We're going to be at a disadvantage if we face a older server that is almost as strong as us, but they have access to the skill and we don't. I'm in S1, level 43. You definitely, so there is a question here, early players, Season 1, currently leveling his castle, currently at 43. He's asking if you should push for a better tier of troops or upgrade artifact in research. You want to min-max. So I've done a few I've done a few contents on what is min-maxing. You want to min-max your castle until you reach the cap. If it means slowing down a little bit on research or artifact, it's still worth it, because your tier troop is going to be giving you a very good boost that you're going to need as soon as you start fighting, especially in KVK. You want to reach this as soon as possible. So you're going for 45, and then you're going to go for 50, and it's a big boost. Now you need to be careful if you're using marches I'll give you one of the best example. If you're using a march like, well, you can just use mine as an example. Here, I have only Shieldman and Bowman. For me, I want to reach 45 and on the Bowman and the Shieldman, but I don't necessarily need to rush the Cavalry or the Spearman. So I'm going to be min-maxing to make sure I level up my castle. You're going to see the requirements when you click on your castle. You do the minimum requirements to upgrade your castle first. And at the same time, you're going to increase the level of the 1 or 2 barracks that you need for your troop. This is what you should be doing. Yes, even if it means that you might not start a research right away or you need to start a smaller one, it's worth it because the troop tier is quite valuable. All right, guys, so while I am going to review the patch note, you guys can always ask questions about the patch note or not. Let me put that on the screen. There we go. So the patch note have been out for a few days now. I was actually expecting them next week, but they're a little bit early this month. That's great. So there are, I would say, 3 things that we need to take away here. First one, when you look at the deep sea venture, I don't know exactly what this entails. I tried to ask for more information. I haven't received any yet. But this one is going to be about a new event. I don't know if it's a new event or it's a new shop. We'll have to see. Still waiting for more information. I think it's probably going to come either in a few days or we're just going to have to wait when the patch note hit. It should be on next Thursday. Daily mission, so now includes a mission that asks you to use a affinity item. So basically, quite simple. If you look at your game here, you can give affinity item now to your immortals. Example, this one here. And you're gonna want to make sure you have at least 1 saved up every day. To make sure that you can give 1, it's gonna help you on your daily mission to reach the last chest, right? Just saving at least 1 to give 1 every day is going to help you on the progress. So nothing major here. They are going to update the Northam survival guide. This is probably just more information when it comes to the tooltip for the game for beginners. We're going to have to see how much that changed, but it's not going to affect older players. Squad survival tournament start. It's going to be from season 1 and season 2. I think what they're going to do here is just that they're going to split a little bit more who gets matched against who. Because at the end of the day, if you're a legendary player and you play against players that have not played the game as long as you have a huge advantage. Sometimes we see Castle 60 against Castle 50, 55. It's just going to be a lot more fair if there are more seasoned that matches player under the same requirements. Now, this is probably the most important part of this patch. But again, new skill added to the Wisdom Well means really later game player. The way they're released is as they came into the game. This one is the last one, so you will get access to it later on. This one is all about trying to do 2 things. Really 1, but it actually do 2 things. The first one is to try and patch Tengu utility so that Tengu becomes more useful for players that has gotten him or will try and get him. At the moment, there's only really a few players that are using Tengu. If you're going to the TOS for Legendary, I don't know if you're able to, but I can show you 1 or 2 players that are currently using it. It's still only the first day, so it's a little bit harder to spot the top players. I know Relic is using it here. He's using it here with a Poseidon build. Tengu is maxed out. The artifact is maxed out. So the specialization is not maxed out yet. I think it was higher. Maybe resetted it for now. But Tengu is currently weaker than, let's say, Anubis, which is a lot stronger as a tank on the Chaos side. And I would even push it and say that Athena at the moment is a little bit stronger than Tengu overall when it comes to utility. Now, this is why they're doing this. It's the latest added Immortal, and they want to patch it so that it becomes a little bit stronger. So here, the skill is directly with this Immortal. Counterattacks effect. Here, when targets have counterattacks effect, Tengu is the only one that has this effect at the moment. I looked around, and I know Archer has something similar, but it's actually reflecting damage. Where is my Archer? Right, it doesn't say counterattack, so it's really about reflecting damage. I don't think it's gonna affect Archer. There's also a skill that is blue here. Which one was it? I think it was Confuse. I think it's Confuse. So not the same thing. If you look at another one that Confuse is going to be Tomuris, but this is Confuse. Again, it's not counterattack. So the only one that does counterattack at the moment is really Tengu. Right, so Grand Front Row Immortal counterattack. He is the only one that will really use all aspects of this new skill. And this is what they're trying to do, buff this guy. They also did, if you look quickly at the end, an adjustment on Tengu's skill itself. So this is the main idea about the balance for Tengu and the skill that they're adding. Last time we got a skill was one to buff Apollo. But like last time, the skill for Apollo did two things. It buffed Apollo, and it also hurt the mages a little bit. Like Loki, Himiko got a small nerf from that skill because of the magical damage resist that come along with the skill. This time, what will happen is, well, we're going to have to see, but what I'm assuming is going to happen is a buff to Alex and Ares for player that has Tengu, and a nerf to Alex and Ares for anybody else that does not have Tengu and that new skill. Reason is simple. This Tengu here and the skill is meant to counter Alex and Ares a little bit because of their reduction to physical damage received and the additional damage to the attacker. But this is every time that you're attacked. So Ares and Annibal and Alex that attack often are going to get more damage from this counterattack. So it's a counter to them. So a buff to Alex and Ares if you have Tengu in the skill, or a nerf to Alex and Ares if you don't have the skill, because bigger wills are going to have it. But I wouldn't panic here. This is really well stuff in my opinion, because not everybody has Tengu. And I do not recommend you get Tengu if you don't have an Apollo or a Medusa already. Damage is a lot more important. If you get Tengu, you don't have one of those endgame Immortal, I think you're making a big mistake. Don't get Tengu as a first endgame Immortal. Then the affinity level is going to be displayed, just quality of life update here. Also quality of life. Now, Asteria, the problem with Asteria is some of the event for some people was resetted properly and some was not resetted. It's simple. Player that was in the Legendary Season when Legendary Season was first introduced did not see a reset on their level of Asteria. So they started from level 6 already instead of starting from level 1 or 2. Those that were in Conquest or older than Conquest and tipped over a new season, their Asteria was resetted properly. So this is going to reset everybody. I think it's a good thing. It's going to give you a lot of Otherworld crystal if you do it again. It's going to cost AP, but honestly, guys, you need to see this as a very good thing. You're just going to get more crystal. Yes, it's a little bit time consuming. Yes, it's a little bit of AP, It's fine. We're happy about this. This is very good for everybody. All right, so this is it. Now, my feedback on this patch note before I read some of the question. I like when they do balance adjustment. I like when they add new skills. I'm not a fan when the skills are too specific, like the last time with Arcane Hunter and this one with, I don't know the name yet, but this new skill. I think it's a little bit too specific. When it's too specific, it becomes harder to use it elsewhere or be flexible with your march. And when you do a adjustment on only the latest chaos model available or only chaos model, I think it hurts a little bit the other immortal, because a lot of the immortal at the moment in the game are too weak to be used, but not just the chaos one. I'll give you a few examples. And now, of course, you can look at immortal like this guy. This guy was weak since the moment he was introduced in the game. He needs a buff, but at the same time, he is 100% free to play. From day one, you can get him. So I understand why they're not buffing him as quickly as they are buffing Chaos Immortal. But there are Immortal in there that needs a buff, but are not as easy to get. And you can look into, example, Mehmed, need a tweak, need a change. This skill around dodge is almost useless. Toyo is another one that definitely needs a tweak, a balance adjustment. So there are a lot of immortal I think they should see and reconsider when it comes to giving them tweaks or balance buff. Now, I really like when they do balance buff upward and not nerf, because in this game, what happened is if you invested a lot into one immortal and they nerfed it, you feel really bad because you cannot move away from it as easily as in other games. So I think I wouldn't like to see nerf. I just want to see buff on immortal that are extremely weak or underused. So that's my feedback on this patch. Other than that, I really like, although it's not the biggest one, the Asteria optimization is honestly good for everybody. I don't know what this event is going to be. I hope it's a new event and not just a new shop, like the weekend shop, but we'll have to see. All right, let me read up a few questions here. Okay, so I have a question here. There is a Alex Himiko YSS Quinn with a few red skills. He just got 7 stars on Loki. Which Chaos Immortal should he go next? Either Fufe or Anubis? Okay, and he's also asking the Dragon talent for the Earth one. All right, let me switch back to game. All right, so first of all, if you're telling me that your Loki is now at 7 star, honestly, it's too soon to start thinking about another immortal. The mage and the archer in this game are the most expensive immortal when it comes to maxing them. Because not only do you need to max the stars, you're going to need to unlock the artifact, and you're also going to need to work on the specialization. Working a mage like Loki on specialization is 3 times as expensive as working on the stars. If you really want to use Loki, if you really want to make your Loki extremely strong, you need to keep working on Loki. That means from the seasonal event, Rune Factory, Battle Pass, all of these places should go towards Loki. The only thing that you might want to do, if you don't mind slowing down on your Loki progress, is in the Battle Pass and Rune Factory, you could, if you want, start a new project. The reason is, during the seasonal event, you can get Loki at a discounted price, and you cannot get Ninetale and Anubis at a discounted price. So you can kind of split your progress into 2 Chaos Immortal just based off that. But you need to keep working on your Loki. You're not going to do Athena. You're not going to do Wukong. You're not going to do Poseidon. Until this guy is spec 8 and some of the grace, look at my Himiko as a good example, is around 3-4 and these 3, 4 as well. I'm still working on her. All of these should be around 3 and 4. It's a lot of shorts. You keep on working on Loki from your seasonal. If you want to split because you want to be efficient, you don't want to pay full price Loki, which is a good thing. It's what I'm doing as well. I think you should go for Anubis or Ninetale. I'll explain why. It's just because if you go with one of the Forest 4 Immortal, you're going to slow down your Loki way too much. You're also not going to have the cheapest price if you get those from the Battle Pass and the Rune Factory event. Ninetale is extremely good, will be very good with a Loki with infinite firepower. So Ninetale is a good option, and she's also going to replace a Quinn. Although Quinn is amazing, at the end of the day, Quinn is still going to be in an update at some point if you have a lot of red skill and a lot of Chaos Immortal. So replacing Quinn with Ninetale is a very good option. Now, you said that you have an Alex and YSS. You could also replace either your Alex and your YSS with Anubis. Anubis is extremely strong. It will be a very good project for you. The only thing is if you do Anubis, either you're going to have to stick with Alex and Anubis. You won't be able to do Athena once your Loki project is done. This is more long term, but at some point your Loki will be done and you're going to be looking into a new project from the seasonal event, and Athena is not going to be an option because you went Anubis and Alex. The other option in that is going to be Poseidon, Wukong, and they're not going to be an option for you as well. So that's what you need to be careful. In my opinion, I would keep working on Loki from seasonal, and I would probably do Ninetale from the Rune Factory and Battle Pass. Okay, someone shared their merch on the Discord. Let me go here. I'm gonna share it on screen. All right, you should be able to. Here we go. All right, so season 2, free to play only golden pass, so around $5 a month. Alex 25. YSS 22, Xeno Quinn, Stardust, okay. All right, I'm gonna give a few recommendations for right now. Given the fact that you're still early, there are a few skills here that I think you should replace as soon as possible. But again, you're early. You're probably struggling on getting all the skill that you want. You're still early level on Tower of Knowledge. But first, Sacrifice is actually not good for you here. Reason one, when you look at Sacrifice, it's good at doing two things. The first one is going to be the damage increase to 2 random ally. But because you're running a Zenobia, Quinn, YSS, and Alex, there's a good chance that you are giving a buff to 2 useless Immortal, or 2 Immortal that does not need the attack boost. It's actually rare that you're going to get it on Alex, so it is not a good skill for the damage increase. It's too random, it's not going to go on the one that you want. If you were running a hybrid team with Alex and Annibal, then Sacrifice would actually make a little bit more of a good justification to be on your march, but you're not. The other thing that it does is it has a 15% chance, which is very low, to increase your initial energy. You're putting that on Zenobia. You don't really need the initial energy. You actually don't need the initial energy on almost anybody on this team. The Sacrifice would be better for to match with an archer or a mage that want to cast their ultimate quickly, and you don't have that. So Sacrifice here is not a good match for your team. You're going to want to move that to your second team, because on your second team, it's actually going to be very good. You're going to put that on Cyrus, and it's going to help boost the damage of 2 Immortal that are probably going to be one of the Immortal you want boosted, because you have 3 damage dealer. And if you get the increased energy, it's good on anybody. So it's a good skill for your second March. The rest is fine. You do have a lot of grace. So early on, it's very okay to have a lot of grace. You're limited on your Tower of Knowledge skill, but you need to make sure that as soon as you can, and definitely as soon as this skill here starts to show up, let me show you where is. As soon as Weakening Curse starts showing up on your battle report, because it's available to you and other people, the graces that you see here are going to be very much so countered by Weakening Curse, because the only one in this March that does damage is going to be your Alex. Your Alex is going to be affected by this skill here, Weakening Curse, and your Grace, when you look at this one, and this one is okay, but these two are going to be almost useless against Weakening Curse. So for now, it's okay. As soon as you start seeing Weakening Curse, you're going to have to move these to your second March as well. The rest is okay. The rest is fine. One thing, your Alex artifact seems to be the blue one, which is the best one, the good one. You definitely want to focus on this one, and then you're going to move to your other ones. Here for YSS, I suggest the physical defense, but the life, the HP is also good. The resilience is also good. It's not the big deal. But because you're probably going to fight a lot more Alexes, at least early on, the physical defense one is a little bit better. For Quinn, you absolutely want the Surge, so the blue one. You don't want the life one, the green. Quinn is not going to heal all that much, even with Berserk. You really want the Surge. I would even say the same for Zenobia. The Surge is a little bit better, but for her, if you get a very good green one and you don't want to spend too much reset on this artifact, it's fine. It's not the end of the world if you give a green one to your Zenobia. Let me show you in game. This is what I mean by the blue one, the Surge. You really want the talent to be Surge. All right, and before I move on to the other question, just 1 second here. I forgot to insert the second part of the previous question, which was the Dragon talent. If you're gonna run a Loki later on as you, well, for now you're running a Quinn, Zeno, Alex, YSS. So I think the best talent for your Dragon is actually going to be this one here, the second one, or you can also use the last one. It's not the end of the world. This one is still good for an Alex solo carry march. This one I think a little bit better. But once you're going to move to a low-key Alex, I think this one is actually a little bit better. This one is the one I use for my Himiko march, but I use double tank. I don't use Alex. So definitely in that case, this one is better. Let me move up. Next question. Medusa, yes, Medusa is extremely strong at the moment. She is the best carry by far. Apollo got a small buff last patch with the skill. I still think Medusa is the best end game carry. I have a lightning team with Kan, Cao Cao, Louis, and Togu. And Tyrannus, the dragon, is level 46. I've been using Holy Grail to try and max Wukong. So you're asking if Wukong is going to be a good fit. I think it's going to be a decent fit. Now, the issue with Wukong is I do think at the moment, Wukong is probably one of the weakest Chaos Immortal with Tengu. Tengu being buffed this patch, we're going to have to see. But the reason why I don't value Wukong that high is because Wukong excel at doing two things. A little bit of damage, but most important, it's the absolute defense. Once you're at 50%, you're going to protect yourself and somebody else. But this means you really want a march that has two carry. So example, your Kan and your Wukong double carry march would be okay. But as you get only one chaos early on, especially for free to play and low spender, You don't want to get into a situation where you have a very high and maxed out Wukong as your only Chaos Immortal, because you basically only want to protect him. He should be the one protected. He should be the one doing all the damage. But because the way Wukong is set up, he actually needs somebody else to be doing damage. He actually needs somebody else to also carry alongside him. And it kind of makes it hard for you as a free-to-play and low spender to set up around Wukong. That's one of the reasons why I don't value him as much for free-to-play and low spender. So my recommendation is, depending on where you are, if you're really, really far into your Wukong, your lightning march that you described is actually going to work quite decently. You're going to do Kan, Cao Cao, Wukong, and Togu. You're going to lose Louis because otherwise it's going to be too much damage. You're also going to lose your only tank, so you're going to lose access to Weakening Curse. You're going to lose access to Guard, which you probably want, even though Wukong protects himself pretty well. So you're going to have one Chaos Immortal, but you're going to need, in my opinion, later on, if you do continue on getting more Chaos Immortal, probably want to get Loki as well, because Loki is going to be the other one that is going to give you a lot of damage. But that means your Lightning March is actually going to change a lot. But that's my best recommendation. Wukong is okay if you have developed him quite a bit already. If not, I would maybe even stop. I can give you a very, very good example that shows a lot. This is Neo. Neo is probably the biggest whale in 277, at least at the moment. And this is his main march. We talked about Medusa being extremely strong. It's a Medusa player, Ninetale, Anubis, and Alex. He has a Wukong. Wukong is the first immortal that he started when he started the game, when he started doing this Wukong, this Chaos project. So you see that the dust level, the portrait level is level 40. But even if it's level 40, it's still not in his main march. Alex is still being used over Wukong. Why? Because, I need to charge a second. Because Wukong does not fit as well in this march, even if he has a Medusa. And secondly, because Wukong is not going to be able to utilize the current red skill available in the game. Wukong is not going to do as well with Knife Through Butter. Wukong is not going to do as well with Fully Prepare. And you want those two skills if you're going to run a attack immortal in your main march. If you're not doing double tank at this level of gameplay, you need Alex or Ares with these two skills. Hope it answered your question. If you have more questions when it comes to Wukong, just let me know. Okay, let me go back to the Discord. I think there's another march to review. All right, so this one here. What is your opinion on this march? All right. Okay, let me take a look at this one first. And then you have this one here. All right, so this is the same player. There's two march, almost similar in power. Honestly, when it comes to this type of march, they're both extremely good. This is a decent setup for Arena and TOS. However, I think you might be losing to player in KVK that you might not have lost if you had focused more heavily on one team. A lot of player, or I would say most players that are not mega well, should have quite a difference between their two teams until very, very late game. Even me, I've been playing this game for 5 years, and my first and second march still have more of a difference than these two. Because splitting red skill and splitting immortals is actually going to hurt you if you don't change your setup when you're fighting KVK. Now, maybe you're changing your setup. I recommend you changing your setup when you fight KVK. Because example here, the second team here, it's a very good setup. It's a lot of damage. It's good overall. but you're missing key skills that will really make this team strong and survive some of the bursts of other teams. Let me take a look here. I think, honestly, if I was to make one team out of this, I would probably do, let me look at the dust level. Bjorn is a little bit lower, but still, I think double tank might be better. The reason is your Alex knife through butter is only level 6 and he does not have fully prepare. You're going to be able to place, you can keep Fufei or you can also keep Matilda with Himiko. I would probably do Bjorn and YSS together. And I would stack all my red skill here. I would stack most of my best skill when it comes to other skill. And I would put the leftover on this team. Again, when you're fighting KVK, you're going to use your main team almost entirely. Only this team, because you can recall, you can send one march, you can bubble, you can put a shield when I say bubble, and play with your one march. This is what free-to-play, low spender, even mid-spender should do. Wells against Wells even do that. And you're going to get a lot more power. Because if you're splitting like this, like here, your Himiko is strong. Still a very good setup. But if you bring this here, you bring infinite firepower, you bring your fighting master to your Fufei, and you put Fufei instead, you now have a 3-skill Himiko. You're going to have a double tank, which is decent against Alex. Your Alex, I don't think, is strong enough with only level 6 knife through butter to really carry against other Loki and Himiko that do a lot of damage. But overall, this is still a very good team. If I was you also, I would finish Energy Mastery first. I think it's the best skill to finish first because you need one more level on it. And then probably Life Protection to 7 as well. This one can stay lower. This one, you're going to need to level up at some point. But because you have a lot of skills that are halfway done, or a little bit more than halfway, it's going to allow you to not focus on knife through butter yet, because you're not going to have Alex in your main team yet. By the way, I also have something similar, right? Here, you can see that my Alex has 2 red skill, but they're really low level. I was planning on doing Alex at some point, but I shifted to double tank. And it allowed me to focus on Fountain of Life and Divine Blessing slowly. Once these 2 are level 7, then I can go back to my skill on my Alex. Once they're level 6, 7, both of them, I can consider and see if I prefer Alex or not. So if somebody told you that Lightning was the best March, it's probably a very early player. Lightning early game in Infinite Kingdom is actually quite a decent March because it loses a lot of power as you go up in season, as you get older. Some of the reason is simple. When you look at the Immortal available to you, the only real carry in the Lightning is Khan. But Khan is going to fall off later game because of his energy regen being too low here. And Khan can actually barely carry if you're using double tank without energy mastery and corrosive power. Also, Khan overall, the crit is okay, but you need even more crit on him to do a lot of crit. And Khan, in its best way, is going to be a Khan that has a lot of energy regen and crit as well. This gets quite expensive, and you cannot really fix Khan with anything else than that energy mastery skill. But early game, you don't necessarily need as much energy regen. Everything is slowed down. Everything is take way longer. Battle lasts longer. So Khan is actually really good early game. I don't think that player should have. I think that player should have mentioned that Lightning falls off. Now you can still do a lot of things with your Lightning team. You can move it to second team. You can take pieces from your Lightning to build a new March. It's not a loss because Khan is still very strong as a second March carry. So here there's a player that noticed that Quinn is not all that good with water. So Quinn in water is not there because Quinn is good with water. Quinn is there because Quinn is flexible and is going to counter what a lot of players bring, but they are a better option. My opinion, however, I would actually prefer investing in a free model like Quinn than Artemisia, and then use what I would have used on Artemisia on somebody else. Example, I really think a Merlin, Quinn, Bjorn, Ragnar is going to beat a Merlin, Artemisia, Ragnar, and Arad or Attila any time of the day. Even if Quinn is a little bit weaker than Artemisia, you're getting a Bjorn or you're getting maybe a YSS even, it's way stronger. Artemisia is not cheap compared to Quinn for what she brings compared to Quinn. Also, Quinn is going to cancel healing. In this game, healing is extremely present everywhere. There is skill, immortal. A lot of players running Zenobia. Zenobia, because she's once unlocked, extremely good and free to play. Quinn is going to cancel that. So Quinn, very valuable. Better than Artemisia in a water? Maybe not. So with Knife Through Butter, Alex YSS team, what would you recommend as a chaos upgrade? If you're not going with red skill, Athena hands down. One of the main issue if you go with carries without red skill is going to be that fighting master. As soon as you go with somebody that is not Alex or Ares, you have to bring fighting master if you don't have Fufe. So example, if you bring your Loki and you don't have red skill, you lose one of the slots for fighting master. Then if you don't have a red skill, you're also going to have to try and do something like a blade, a battle stance, maybe a Buddha spirit with spell disintegrator. So you get in a situation where you have 2 okay skill for damage and fighting master. Reality is Alex with 3 damage skill is going to give you more value even if he is not a Chaos Immortal. Yes, a maxed out Loki with Fighting Master is still going to do a ton of damage. But in my opinion, if you do Alex and Athena, you're going to be better off. Why? A lot of players are playing Khan. A lot of players are playing Khan and Quinn in many marches. Athena is going to provide a lot of assistance against that. Athena is also extremely strong in Alex. I went with Athena and not Loki myself. I really love my Athena. I don't regret going for Athena. At some point, I regretted a little bit, but they buffed her, so even better now. My Athena is quite in a good spot now. This is level 3. This is level 3. Next seasonal event, she's going to be almost maxed out, and I can move on to something else. And what I like about Athena is I can place her on my main team. She's going to give me extremely good value. But if the matchup does not really excel for her, I can swap her out. And what happened is I'm not going to lose that much power because she's a tank, right? If I use, example, a Loki, the moment I max out my Loki and I focus heavily on Loki, I cannot do anything other than Loki. If you focus everything on Loki and you have a 1 March carry Loki, what are you going to use? A Wu? You can't. You're stuck with Loki. I'm not stuck with Athena because Athena is going to give me good value almost all the time. If, example, in a match, there's no healing, I'll give you an example. I play a Quinn, Himiko, YSS, Alex, and I feel like she's not giving me enough value. I'm working on Anubis at the moment. Not ready, but I could do Anubis and Jordan for that fight. I can actually move away from my Chaos Immortal because she's not a carry. That's my thinking, my point of view when I did Athena. So I would go with Athena. There is one good side about doing Loki. If you want to really go about Loki, the only selling point in my opinion is that because of the seasonal event, you're going to be able to max him slowly, but maxing a carry model is extremely hard, extremely long, quite expensive, but from the seasonal event, it becomes quite cheaper. So low-key maxing out that immortal, a chaos immortal becomes cheaper. I still like Athena. 1 second here. Let me move to the next question. All right, guys. So I have another question when it comes to talent for the dragon. The best way to look at it is the first one is better if you don't have an Alex, for sure. This one is going to heavily look at damage, true damage, and reducing the damage taken. The last two are more about normal attack. Because Alex excel at normal attack, you want one of the last two for Alex. So if you have Alex, Zenobia, Quinn, YSS, one of the last two. If you have Alex, Quinn, Himiko, YSS, your red skill are only on Alex, still one of the last two. But if you have a Quinn, Himiko, Alex, YSS, and your red skill on your Himiko is your main damage dealer, then you might want to move to the first one. If you don't have Alex, you have double tank, for sure, use the first one. Another question here. Somebody wants to start a second team with Gilgamesh, Alex, YSS, and he doesn't know if he should use Quinn or Zeno. It's tricky here. It really depends on who is going to be your main carry. It depends on what skill you're going to give them. By that I mean, are you going to give them red skill or not? And it also depends on what is your main team. You don't want to pull too much away from your main team and give to your second team. Because at the moment, you're naming Alex, YSS, which are extremely good main team immortal. You're also naming Quinn or Zeno. I don't know if your first team is a Water March. If you're looking at a Merlin, Artemisia, Ragnar, and Attila or Arad, or maybe even Jorn, I actually think that you might be better off mixing that with what you're trying to do with your second team to make a stronger first team. It goes back to the previous comments that I made. The player had two good team, very good for arena, very good TOS. But when it comes to fighting in KVK, having two teams exactly the same strength, about the same power on the battlefield is not going to do you any good. You need to have one main team to fight. So if you, Christopher, if you can give me more information, you can say it on the Discord. I really need more information when it comes to your first team and what you want to do when it comes to skills for a Gilgamesh Alex setup. So here there is a fire team question, replacing Ragnar to swap in place of Hippo in a fire team. So it would become a Ragnar, Trajan, Wu, Quinn. I think it's decent. I think it's good. One of the main reasons I do approve this change is I do think Hippo, although she's quite good in utility, when it comes to PvP, she suffers as soon as she faces a Alex and Ares. Alex is going to melt through Hippo unless you make her into a tank, and I don't like to use a attacking model only for utility and tank. I think Ragnar would be a better fit than Hippo in most fire team. Now there are a few setups that Hippo can do quite well. Those includes red skill, but even then, at that point, I'd rather you put Ragnar, Trajan, and you put your red skill, or if you get a red skill, you put it on your Wu. Ragnar, Trajan, Wu, Quinn, extremely strong team. If you want to take it further, You can replace your Quinn later on with something like a Matilda. You have to be careful because it's a lot of King of the Hill and Golden Path Immortal, but it is a very good option. So here, the player that we reviewed the March here. 1 second. Instead of sacrifice, it depends on the level of Tower of Knowledge you have. But one of the skill that is really good overall, you're going to be able to use it almost all the time. If not, you're going to use it on your second team, is going to be Energy Suppression. Energy Suppression is currently not on your team, and it is probably one of the best pre-level 40 Tower of Knowledge skill. It is extremely good. It doesn't matter on which team you put it. It's almost guaranteed to give you some value. So replace it with Energy Suppression at the moment. Thanks Zero for the donation. Always appreciated. Which is better, Loki Quinn or Fufei Himiko? Honestly, it's going to be Loki Quinn because they counter what Himiko and Fufei do, right? Loki with 2 red skill and Fighting Master is still going to dish out a ton of damage, especially if the specialization, the portrait are high. And Quinn is going to cancel the healing. So if the player does not have Athena, your Fufei is actually going to give you limited value. Yes, she's going to give you the crowd control immunity. Yes, you're going to be able to put 3 skill on your Himiko. But still, I do think Quinn Loki is actually a little bit stronger than Fufei Himiko. But I think it's better, it's easier to build around Fufei Himiko. What I mean by that is you're going to be able to add Athena, protect your healing, and you can even do Anubis down the line. It's going to become extremely strong. Whereas if you do Loki and Quinn, I think you're going to need to change Quinn at some point. And the moment you change Quinn, you're gonna run up in a situation where you have a very strong backline, but you're going to be with a weaker front line. Maybe it's going to be an Alex. Maybe it's going to be Alex YSS. If you went a little bit further, maybe it's going to be a Bjorn YSS. But with a Himiko Fufei, you can place a Chaos Immortal in the front line next. It's going to be very strong. Whereas Loki, you're going to have 2 backline Chaos. This is my current team. I still lose against Loki Quinn if they have Anubis. Other than that, I usually don't lose against Quinn Loki because I have Athena. Before Athena, I was still losing quite often to Quinn Loki. Quinn Loki is still very good. So which chaos do I suggest best value in terms of the cost, the usage for all type of team, immortal? It's very hard to give you one immortal when it comes to chaos value because it really depends on your team. What I can do is if you want best efficiency on value and cost, it's definitely going to be one of the first 4 immortal in Loki, Poseidon, Wukong, and Athena. Because of the seasonal event, if you wait for the discounted chest to come around, these immortal becomes way, way cheaper. Way, way cheaper. On top of that, they're also in the battle pass. So on this one here, right? And you can generate this insignia from Rune Factory and also from this other battle pass. So overall, these 4 Chaos Immortal actually become quite cheap for light spender. When it comes to these 4, I really think it's going to be either Athena or Loki. Athena is going to give you overall very good value. The downside about Athena is if they don't have Quinn or Khan, you're already losing a little bit of value. And if they don't have a lot of physical damage, example, if they only have Loki or Himiko as damage dealer, Athena is still going to struggle a little bit more against magical team. If you do Loki, Loki overall is going to give you way more value, way more damage. I think as a one Chaos Immortal player, you probably want to focus on a damage dealer. So Loki is a very, very good a very, very good Chaos Immortal to work on. The only issue is if you have been heavily focusing on Alex and you're doing an Alex, Xeno, Quinn, YSS, you're going to have a Loki Alex, and your Alex without red skill is going to be a little bit harder to turn him into a utility immortal. So you're going to have to keep him as a damage dealer, but the reality is your Loki is going to do most of the damage. This is my take. Athena or Loki for the best efficiency, lowest cost Chaos Immortal. If you assume no red scale at all, I think it's going to be Athena. Again, Loki, just like any other carry, when it comes to Archer and Mage, Fighting Master, they don't have access to Energy Mastery, don't have access to Infinite Firepower. I would do Athena. Let me catch up here. All right. If you have time to find me, the name is the one I call to change my march. Okay, let me see here. Let me go into submission. This is Ilya. I'm not sure which one is your march. If you can just let me know which one it is and I can do it. No problem, because right now I'm not too sure which one you're talking about. Jam's asking if Athena is in the discounted chest. Yes, so seasonal event, discounted chaos chest contain 4 immortal. It's going to be Athena, Loki, Wukong, and Poseidon. Can show you in game. I think I still have some here. So these are the options. Only these 4. I honestly don't think they're going to change. I don't think they're going to change it in the seasonal event and add more. The only thing they might do at some point is replace Fufei, which is currently 50% for Anubis or Ninetale. I thought they were going to do that a lot sooner. They have not done that yet. But the discounted chest, I think, is going to stay these 4 immortal. I do have a full start Earth March with Alex, YSS, Zenobia, and Cleopatra. The dragon is level 40. Is there any model you can recommend to replace Cleo? The best change here is going to be Quinn. Quinn is going to give you value for 2 reasons. First, if you do Quinn, you're going to get the attack speed for your Alex. This attack speed is a guaranteed attack speed buff. As soon as Quinn ultimate goes off, you get this 25% increased speed attack, which is extremely good for your Alex. 2, you're going to get the wound, which is going to help against healing. So against other Zenobia, against skill like Wine and Dine, against skill like a Spring of Life, Vitality's Touch, Purification. So good value there. And more importantly, Quinn, just like Cleopatra, is also a free-to-play immortal. Extremely easy to get, extremely easy and quick to max. This is the best change that you can make at the cheapest cost. Yeah, cheapest cost for sure. Replace your Cleopatra with Quinn. I did that on one of my mini account. I was running the same march as you. I put Quinn in there. My Cleopatra was already 30 dust level portrait. Doesn't matter. I placed her in my second team now. She's kind of doing a bit of damage there. Quinn is way better, giving me way better result. So you are a water preparing for Bjorn. Okay, 1 second. I need to go back for the question here. All right, so this is the player that was asking for some info on a Gilgamesh, Alex, YSS, Quinn or Xeno in their second team. Their main team seems to be a Merlin, Artemisia, soon to be Bjorn and Ragnar. So this is a very good water team, very strong. I'm not the biggest fan of water. I still think this is a very strong main team. If you really want to do a strong second team, I actually think that you might just go with Alex, YSS, Zenobia, Quinn. I don't think you need to place Gilgamesh in that March. Reality is Alex is going to be extremely good at solo carrying. You're not going to use Assembly Charge. You're not going to be using Wind Rage or Cleave in your main March. So your Alex is still going to be able to use the best damage dealing skill on Alex at the gold tier, not red skill. And you're not going to need a lot more token skill for your Gilgamesh. If you still want to do Gilgamesh for sure, I think I would use Quinn probably. Zenobia would still be fine. Now you're going to need at least 2 token skill for your Gilgamesh, which is going to be Blade Vortex and Executioner. And on top of that, the issue is you have Fighting Master probably on your Merlin, but now you're going to have a Gilgamesh without Fighting Master. So if he gets CC'd, even if you give him 3 amazing token skill, example, Unyielding, Blade Vortex, and Executioner, he might get destroyed just because, example, you're fighting a Himiko. Himiko brings him in the realm and he doesn't do anything for the match. Again, you have to be careful when you do your second team. You always have to remember your Fighting Master is probably on your main team. Moving on to the next question. 1 second. I have a Alex YSS March without a red skill. Damage is falling off. I was replacing Quinn with Khan. So if you have a standard free-to-play friendly March that I think is the best free-to-play March, in this one here, there's 2 ways that you can buff up the damage a little bit, and it is going to be Khan. You can also try Himiko if you want. I think Khan is still a very good option. If you do Khan, you're probably better off keeping Zenobia. Now, if you do Khan, the issue is it's a little bit better, but for it to be better, its specialization will need to be way higher. Not only level 8, but some of the nods here are going to need to be higher than level 1. This probably 3, 4. This is going to need to be evolved as well. This one too. So it's not cheap to replace your Quinn and your Khan if you want a better March. And you're going to need token skill as well on your Khan. You can use your Khan as a support, but if you use your Khan 100% as a support, it's actually not going to do that much of a difference to a Quinn. If you do get some token skill, example Blade Vortex, Executioner, and then you can use an aura like Berserk still, it's going to be a little bit stronger than Quinn, for sure. It's not huge, but it is going to give you more damage. I can change Himiko double tank and Fighting Master on Fufei. Okay, so I think this is this one here. If you do double tank, okay, so here, if you do Fufei, you probably want to keep this aura, Spring of Life. You probably want to keep this one, Earth of Arcana, and I would probably keep this one. It's a red skill, Divine Blessing, it's still very good. The only thing is Spring of Life in this setup, with even if you have a Fufei, is not guaranteed because a lot of players are going to cancel your healing. At the very least, you have Fountain of Life, so Spring of Life still should go off. I would probably move Fighting Master to my Fufei and do 3 skills on my Himiko. This is what I'm currently doing. Here you can see my Fighting Master is on my Fufei, which allow me to do 3 skill here. There are still moments, it does not happen that often, but there are still times where my Himiko is not going first and she gets stunned before my Fufei can ult. If that happens, sometime because Fufei will ult very soon, I still manage to do something. Sometime I don't. Sometime the battle is almost over before my Himiko can do something. But still, I think you're going to want Fighting Master on your Fufei, 3 skill on your Himiko. You're going to keep this one here, this one here. You can keep these 3 skill on the YSS actually. Now this one you can keep as well. The only thing is you might want to use something else depending on who you're fighting. Resist can be better if you're fighting a Himiko only damage dealer. You can also sometimes do Oaken Guard if you're fighting an Alex. You already have Weakening Curse, so Oaken Guard maybe not needed. What you can also try is to move Fountain of Life to your Matilda. But if you do that, you're going to lose an aura. If you do lose an aura, probably Spring of Life. The reason why you might want to move Spring of Life to, not Spring of Life, Fountain of Life to your Matilda, or Fufei, sorry, is if your Fufei is dying too quickly because she has assist. As you can see on my setup, I don't have assist on my support because she was dying too quickly if I do assist. She is not maxed out at the moment. You see here the resilience is still only level 1 everywhere. And my 2 shelter are 4 and 3. So I still need to upgrade that slowly. I'm actually running assist on my Tina instead. And I'm putting Fountain of Life there. Yes, sometimes I'm putting in my Fufei, not my Himiko, which is a little bit worse. But I cannot hold assist on my Fufei at the moment. She's dying too quickly. And if I do, I need to remove Fountain of Life and put it on my Fufei. But I lose access to 3 aura. I really like aura. I think they're amazing in this game. And I want to keep my 3 aura, which is the one that I mentioned. Divine Blessing, Art of Arcana, and I have Spring of Life. You can test it out. At the end of the day, maybe your Alex is still doing okay. It really depends here on your YSS. He's probably maxed out, but still, I really think only 1 red skill on your Alex is not enough to justify double tank. Moving away from double tank. Double tank is still very good in this game. One second, guys, before I go back to the question, I just need to take a look at TOS. Right. I just want to hang around 100 so that some people can hit me. I want to be hit because if I win the defense, I'm going to go up in ranking. All right, let's go back to the question. One second. There's a player here, Flippin. I don't know if you can share some information about your March, but the question right now is if you have red skill on both Himiko and Alex, which dragon should you use? Okay, so the dragon, the talent for your dragon. It depends on the red skill, I would say. If you have Energy Mastery, Infinite Firepower on Himiko, Fully Prepare, and Knife Through Butter on your Alex, you can keep the attack speed one, which is going to be either the second one or the first one, because your Alex is still going to give you a lot of value. If you have a Knife Through Butter that is level 7 and Fully Prepared as level 7, this second part of this skill here is going to help you first get to the maximum damage and defense on Fully Prepared quickly. And also Knife Through Butter is going to go off more often because of this. So it's valuable for you to keep the second one. but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if you still use the first one. You can take a look at TOS at the moment. There's a lot of player. I need to go a little bit lower. There's still a lot of player that are using here. You see this march. There's one red skill. There's two here. He's still using the first one, right? First skill. Yes, Alex knife through butter is not going as often as it could, but the Alex is not a damage dealer. He is used as a debuffer. It's the case for a lot of marches. Here, Himiko, 2 skill, 2 red skill, still using the first one. I don't think it's a mistake. Alex is a debuffer, not there for damage. You lose a little bit of value on knife through butter. Doesn't matter. You want Himiko to survive. You want Himiko here to do the most damage. Okay. So this is back to the fire team. Question about Hippo, how to make her a little bit better. There are ways to make Hippo useful and not die too quickly. One of the best way to make your Himiko a utility immortal that will give you some damage and value is going to be Fighting Will. Here, Fighting Will is very good because every time you drop 20% in HP, you're going to deal damage. You put that on an attack immortal, it does more damage. It also has a chance to root, which is good. This is all enemies. It's good. Now you have to remember a lot of the stronger or best player are going to run Fighting Master on their carries. So this is not going to affect their carries. It's only going to affect their support and tanks. Not as useful, but it's still something that is going to give you an advantage if they get rooted. So Fighting Will is a very good skill on Immortal like Hippo that you don't want to focus on damage. And then you're going to do something like Energy Mastery, Energy Suppression, sorry. Because Energy Suppression and example Okengard, they are grays that last only the first few seconds of the battle. So even if she dies quickly, you're going to get the full value of these skills. Now, Hippo as a whole also gives value from the ultimate. So you might want to run something like Physical Shield if you're fighting against, example, an Alex that is directly in front of you. But the reality is if you do Physical Shield on Hippo, you run into a situation where you're defending your Hippo, but you really want to be defending your Wu, which is the one doing the damage. It's kind of patching a issue that you don't want to be fixing in the first place. If you have a tank, you don't have to fix it. So Hippo is still not the worst in fire, but you need to work around our weakness. Okay, let me see. There's another player that's submitted here. I'm going to do this one and the two that I saw in submission quickly. Season 2, Castle 45. So Bjorn is going to be ready to sub in for Hippo next week. All right, so here he also has one red skill on Wu, so very good. With Chase, still very good. Now, the moment you're going to bring your Bjorn, you're going to want to probably protect your Matilda a little bit more and give some of the grace to your Bjorn. One way to protect your Matilda is going to be doing absolute defense, or you can also do the physical shield if you know that you're fighting a lot of physical damage team. Because what will happen is once you have double tank in the front row, the one that's going to take the most damage is going to be your Matilda because of the assist skill. Now you have 2 grace on her. You're going to move away from that and protect your Matilda so that she can protect your Wu longer. Let me go into the Tower of Knowledge. So this skill here, absolute defense with assist on your Matilda, is going to give you great value. I would probably do this on Matilda as soon as I have my Bjorn into the March with double tank. You can also do, it's still too high of a skill level for you, but as soon as you reach level 50, this is going to be another counter to Alex. But be careful before you get the skill, however. You need to see if you're struggling with Alex or against Alex or not. Because you're going to have Bjorn, which is going to do a double tank March, which is already good against Alex. And Bjorn Artifact is also good against Alex. So you don't want to overdo it neither and get a token skill in Weakening Curse if you don't need it. Because there's a lot of other skills that you're going to need on your fire team later on. Like No Escape is going to be very good, essential for you. Energy Shield can be a very good get as well. Spring of Life is not going to be as good for you, however. Art of Arcana, extremely good, but this is not a token skill. You're going to need to buy the bundle. But Art of Arcana for you is going to be very, very good. You might want to take that at some point, especially because your Wu has infinite firepower and chase. A skill like this is going to increase your damage quite a lot. Do you have weakness at the moment? You already have weakness, so that's good. These two are good. I would probably lose the defensive grace once you have your Bjorn. So let me just here, because this one here, you're gonna have double tank and you're gonna have assist on your support. You're not gonna need this as much. So I would probably lose this one. Let me quickly go here as well. So Rosa, Conquest Season, Castle of 44, Water Team, Erod, Ragnar, Merlin, Artemisia, YSS, Boost, Water Dragon. All right, let me take a look here. All right. All right, so first recommendation, you're gonna want to probably, I know it's kind of not fun to be in that situation, but your Himiko I don't think should be something that you want to focus on anymore if you want to focus on your main team. Because here the issue is, where is your Himiko gonna go? She's not gonna replace your Merlin. Your Merlin is probably gonna be better in a March like that than Himiko. So she's not going to replace Artemisia, neither. You're kind of stuck with a Himiko that will be on your second team. You don't need to you should not force a Shadow Immortal on your second team if you need replacement on our first team. What I mean by that is you probably want to stop Himiko and do Bjorn. Bjorn is going to be way better for you. You're going to replace Erad, and you need to replace Erad. You mentioned YSS, and I see it here. YSS is going to be better than Erad for now, but stop Himiko and do Bjorn, in my opinion. Main reason is your Himiko is not going to live on your main team for sure. Now, other than that, you could always do Alex, because I saw that he is already maxed out on stars. At the moment, for your main March, instead of Erad, I don't know if it's going to give you that much value compared to Erad, depending on where your Alex is. But I would definitely go with Bjorn. Now, for the skills, this is a really good setup. It's going to protect your Merlin. It's going to give you a little bit of damage increase if you get lucky on your Merlin. Now, the Berserk is not good on this team. It's not the worst, but Merlin does not need attack speed. Erad does not need attack speed. So Berserk, again, it depends on how many skill you have. At some point, you're going to need to move that away, probably on your Alex March or even your second March. But this is not a skill that should be on your main March, given your current setup. Here, same recommendation as always. Be careful with resist Oaken. Depends on who you're fighting. Example, you're fighting this March here, the Xeno, Alex, YSS Quinn, then resist is absolutely useless. If you're fighting this fire team here, the Oken is not all that needed. Yes, it's good against Hippo. It depends. Again, we saw Himiko, but if we didn't know and Himiko is the one doing the damage here, Oken is not going to give you great value. Now, once you're going to be able to get more token skill or red skill, you're going to really want to focus on your Merlin. That being a spell disintegrator on Merlin when we're talking about token skill, maybe a boot and spirit as well. If you're going with a red skill, then energy mastery for sure on your Merlin. Not infinite firepower. Go with energy mastery if you do one red skill for your Merlin. All right, let me go to the next one. All right, so this is a little bit of the issue that I mentioned just now, where you did Himiko, but you're now in a situation where your Himiko does not really live all that well in your main March. Reason is double damage backline is going to struggle later on. For now, it's not the most the biggest problem. But as your specialization or the enemy specialization level gets maxed out, you're going to lose out on the support specialization, which is Battle Excitation. Let me show you. You're going to lose out on this one here. This is a lot of energy and a lot of damage right at the start of the battle. It's too good to pass and do double damage, at least at the moment. This is also why when you look at endgame players, there's actually not one running double damage on the back line. It's just too good of a battle excitation specialization available to you with a support. And when you do a march like this, as the specialization of everybody goes up, you're going to lose in power yourself. I think you would have been way better off if you had done Jorn. But now that this is done, I think you probably want to move your Himiko or your Khan to your second team. You're probably going to have to do Quinn at the moment until you have another option. Maybe Cao Cao. Probably not even Cao Cao. Now the issue with Lightning is this one, guys. If your Khan is your carry and you do Cao Cao, Cao Cao is better when the front line is the carry. Cao Cao is going to reduce the damage of everybody, but help healing only the front line. Your Khan is not in the front line, in the back line, so Cao Cao synergy with Khan is not all that great. It would help your Louis, but I don't think Louis is a solo carry immortal or even a carry immortal that is extremely good at the moment. In my opinion, he is one of the immortal that needs a buff, needs an adjustment. He is also a golden path immortal at some point early on. He is a king of the hill early on immortal. He is not easy to get. I think he needs a buff. Until then, I think you might want to replace him. So for now, first step, I would replace Himiko or Khan, depending on your specialization level. Replace the weakest one, place him somewhere second or third team, and you might want to do Quinn, or probably Quinn in this situation, or Zenobia into your main team. And then at some point, you're also going to want to replace Louis. It can be YSS, Charles, Jorn. Now it's going to start to be a little bit expensive, but Jorn could be another option. If you're looking at Chaos, Anubis would be very good. If you have more questions on this march, let me know. You probably have. I know this is probably not what you wanted to hear, but the reality is double backline is struggling at the moment. There was a time where Elise was able to kind of do a support kind of role. She still is able to do it a little bit, but because of specialization, the moment specialization was introduced in the game, tank and support immortals are way too valuable to not use them. Here, the one, if you have question, let me know. I'll be able to give you more information. You probably have question to that you want to ask, just ask them. Let me go back to the YouTube channel to answer a few questions. I need to do the giveaway as well. Let me catch up on the question and then I'll do the code giveaway. I've been playing Infinity Kingdom for about 4 years, almost 5. I did take a long break, around a year and a half, but quite a long time. I've been playing this game for a while. All right. If you have more follow-up question on any of the review that I've done on the Discord or in the YouTube channel, let me know. Just make sure you kind of remind me when you ask the question which team you're talking about, because we've been talking about quite a few teams. But for now, what I'll do is I'll do the giveaway. Give me 1 second. I need to set it up. Here, next. All right, so everybody here in the chat, you need to type Nika. So this here, everybody that will type this, I'll be able to filter those that have, those that haven't, and I'll do the raffle between everybody in the chat that has put this into the chat. I'll give you some time. If you have a question, go for it. I'll probably wait around 5 minutes for people to have time to put Nika. Be careful, guys. It's not Nick. It's Nika. The first here. This one here. First 4 letter. Yep, there we go. There's another question here. I've seen you. I've sent you a new screenshot how they are now. My Himiko spec 8. The rest are close to 7. I want to keep Himiko working on Quinn. All right, so give me 1 second here. Where did you send the screenshot? Ilya, is it here? I'm not sure where you send this screenshot. You can send it here in the general one. Just send it and tag me. I'll take a look right away. In submission, let me see. I don't see any more here. Put it in general, please, because I can't find it. I'm doing a raffle, so I'm doing a code giveaway, guys. So just enter. So basically, it's a system that's going to look at the chat, see everybody that has entered the code word, and pick somebody. That's it. All right, so while you guys are going to enter that, let me just look at the question again. Okay, so this is the same one that we talked about. You change a few things here. Okay, you want to keep Himiko. So if you want to keep Himiko, I think you're going to have to move away from Khan because of what I said about double damage in the backline not being as good as support and carry. Quinn or Zenobia is going to be good here because you have Louis. If you don't have Louis and at some point you move to a double tank, Quinn is going to be better for sure. Cao not going to be all that great for you. And again, Zenobia would be a little bit worse if you move away from Louis. You said that your Himiko is already spec 8. So being spec 8, she's definitely your star. She's the one that should be doing the most damage. I would probably turn my Louis in something more of a off damage utility immortal, a little bit like Hippo that we just mentioned earlier. It can be energy suppression, it can be fighting wheel, it can also be another aura. Here you only have one aura in weakness. For lightning, however, there's not a lot of aura that are that good. You don't want Spring of Life. Spring of Life is not going to give you value unless you bring in Zenobia. So you could do energy mastery, energy suppression, sorry, fighting wheel and cleave, which is going to be okay. If you remove Khan and your Himiko stay there with a support, don't forget you're going to need fighting master on your Himiko. I think Fighting Master, Spell Disintegrator, and probably Annihilation or even Concentration would be better. You're going to need to lose probably Poison Thorn to put Fighting Master at the very least. Here, same thing, guys. This is okay. Be careful. Not always useful. Might need something else instead, depending on who you're fighting. On your Quinn, which is going to be the support, you're going to run Assist, Absolute Defense, and then probably Surge, which is the Energy Blessing, which is going to be good. Later on, you can do a No Escape on your Quinn. You can also do something like Energy Shield. You can do Weakening Curse on your tank, and then move one of your 2 Grace to your Quinn. You're going to have a lot of option for sure. Because in this team, you're going to need No Escape. You're going to need Energy Shield. And you're going to need Weakening Curse at some point for sure. If you keep Louis, you probably need Guard as well on your Tokyo. Even if your Louis is not going to be doing a lot of damage, you still want to protect him somehow. And Guard is going to help. So again, there's a lot of skills that are going to go to your support and your tank. And what I would do probably is you already have a good second team here. You're going to move your Khan to your second team, probably replacing Quinn with Khan and Khan with Quinn. You might want to look at your Dragon talent, however, when you do the change. I don't know which one you're using at the moment. But with a Himiko, I think this one is probably going to do better for you. It's going to increase the damage from the ultimate the enemy is going to receive. So this one is good for your Himiko. It's the second one, I think. Let me just confirm. Yes, you're going with the second one. Now, the first one is not bad because of Louis and your team. This one is not the best. I would probably do one of the two. If your Louis is still doing a lot of damage, maybe this one is okay. But this one for Himiko for sure is better. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to do the giveaway right now. Make sure you put the code word in the chat last minute before I do the giveaway. All right. Let me run that. Choose a winner right now. All right, so you should be able to see it in the chat as well, I think. So Joshua has won the code here. Joshua, are you on the Discord? Did he win last time too? I don't remember. I don't remember if he won last time too. So to receive the code, guys, you need to let me know on Discord, or it can be on in-game. But in-game, you're going to need to come to my server and message me. So Discord is a lot easier. I cannot share in the YouTube channel because it's a one-time code. As soon as you claim it, it's not going to be claimable again. And you need to make sure you claim it on your main account. So Joshua, let me know if you're on Discord. Just tag me on the Discord channel. Sorry guys, this weekend I only have one code. I think I should be able to generate one more next weekend because I don't think I have claimed. Well, it's gonna be June, and I'm gonna receive one more code for June. If he doesn't claim, he will still be claimable, but he's gonna claim it. Are you on the Discord channel? Let me see if I can tag you. I can find you. Just if you're on the Discord channel, just put a message here in general, and I'll send you the code. I'll send you guys the Discord link if you have not joined. I really recommend you join. The Discord now has a lot of player, well over 200 by now. The general chat is quite active. A lot of players are discussing a lot of aspects of the game. You can tag me. I can also try and help. You also have the topic requests where you can send topic that you would like me to do a video on. And you can also submit your merch here. As you've been seeing on the live stream, I will review the teams that are sent to me as much as possible, either during live stream. I also do videos sometime about player review. So this is the way for player review. It gives me more info. Okay, give him 1 second. I'm going to give him his code so that I can make sure it works properly. All right, 1 second. Okay, well, people, please look at my fire team, put it on Discord. Okay, give me 1 second, Grave. I'll look at your team in a moment. Alex in Golden Path? I don't think so. Alex is already quite easy to get, guys. Alex is in the market. He is quite easy to get in the market. Yes, it's gem, but he is there quite often as a full immortal at 0.3. And as pieces at 2.78. If you have a lot of market research and with time, you're going to be able to max your Alex quite quickly. He is also available in the random shards, right? So quite easy to max. I really, even if he would be in the golden path, I think you should focus your golden path currency on immortal like YSS, Ragnar, maybe Tokyo, Matilda, that are not available in the market. It's better in the end for you as well. Right. So here Gems is asking if I do Infernal. So this event here, I don't know if we can see it on the calendar. Where is it here? 1 second. This one here, Infernal Assault, is all about gold. You are going to generate gold from this event. So I do it sometime. I don't really use a lot of AP on it. I still have quite a lot of gold. I used to be way higher. When the event for Castle 60 came around, I probably used 4 jillion gold, so a lot of gold. But I don't necessarily need to grind it. This is more, I would say, earlier players. And with time, you're going to be able to mint a lot of gold. And before, I would say a year and a half ago, gold was actually a currency that you were not using all that much. It was for the dragon and your boost on your immortal. But other than that, it was not used all that much. Now it's in legendary season for contracts. It's in the equipment. It's almost everywhere. So you do need a lot more gold. I'm lucky enough because I've been playing for a long time that I don't need to grind it too much. But guys, grinding Infernal Assault is not too complicated. You just need at least 2 or 3 friends to do it with. And if you do it properly, it's going to give you a little bit of loss. It's just very expensive on AP. That's the only thing. You're going to need to save bottle. You're going to need to gem. It's quite expensive on AP. One second. All right, let me, Josh, just message me on Discord once you can. It's not a limited code, so even if you message me after the stream, it's not a problem. Okay, there you go. I think you went on general. All right, there you go. All right. Second. Sorry guys, I only have one code. Now these codes are VIP codes. So basically, when you're VIP 15, not exactly 15, but higher VIP, once you spend quite a bit in the game, the your VIP representative is going to give you one code a month. Instead of using it, I'm giving it away. So I only have one per month or so. Sometimes a few friends that are VIP 15 as well are giving me their code so that I can give it away, but I cannot generate all that many codes. All right, I forgot to look at the, before we end the stream in around 15 minutes, let's take a look at the matchup. We have the, okay, let's see here. So this is 231. This is a huge KVK here. They're definitely way stronger than us, obviously. Look at the power. They also have a lot of Medusa player. You also have 70. 70 are very strong. They're not as strong as 231 for sure. We are in Ember. So we have 292 definitely active. This is going to be active as well. So Zephyr are definitely stronger for sure. Here, I think, honestly, Terra is probably going to struggle a little bit. Not that they're weak, but they're definitely weaker than Ember and Zephyr and even Hydro because 70 are quite strong. This is 56 second alliance, however. This is the farm alliance. But because 56 is quite active, they're going to be able to help. Now, I think there are the favorite in our KVK by far. I don't think it's over. We're going to have to see and look at a few things for sure. Let me take a look as well at some of the other matchup. There's a few matchup that needed to happen. I think 38 needs to be against 209 or 231. They're not against 231. We are. Or 136. Let's see here if we can. Okay, so here, this is going to be pretty one-sided. I think this is like the third alliance in 136, and then you have 43 that is pretty much alone in this KVK. Here, you have 56. I don't know a lot about M21. Now, M21, the thing is, this alliance, because it's a merged server, is quite newer. But 137, I think this is not their main. This is not their main alliance unless they change name. I don't think it should be. Maybe they changed their name. If it's their main alliance, the 137 is actually quite strong. You see here, our second alliance is actually there in Terra with 56. So, ooh, this is going to be a good KVK for us in our smaller alliance. Probably very fun. DH are quite strong, but they don't have mega whales. So 56 are clear favorite. And this might look weak, but we can definitely fight here on this alliance. Let me take a quick look at... Oh, this is going to be a very good KVK. Oh, no, actually, no. This is not their main alliance. All right, so here, this is 38 second alliance with 136 second alliance. So this is a second alliance against second alliance. I do think 136 second alliance is actually stronger than 38 second alliance because they have main players in this one, whereas 38 really converge all their strong player into AEW. Let's see here. I hope they are against on their main alliance as well. Let's see here. There's still a few strong servers. 73 we haven't seen. We haven't seen 38, 136, M14. So M14 is here. It's going to be one-sided. This is going to be M14 one-side KVK. Honestly, they're really strong. They have Medusa player. I think they should have gotten a more difficult KVK here. I don't know if you call it lucky or not. I think it's going to be a little bit boring for them. This is ours. Where is... So this is the same KVK as last time for a 16, 159, and even M005, I think. At this point, I think 16 needs to fight somebody. This is probably going to be last time a friendly fest of forming. I'm not sure this is a good KVK. We're going to have to keep an eye if they're going to fight at all. I hope they're going to fight. Games get boring if you don't fight. Okay, this one is pretty dead. Where is 38? Did I miss them? Probably missed them. 1 second. Oh, there it is. This is the big KVK. Oh, this is really, really big. Yeah, 38, 136, 73, 209. All in different. It's probably going to be a 2 against 2. Like 38 is definitely the alliance to beat at the moment, but 136 are extremely strong. I don't think they're anywhere as they were the last time these two matched. I think they're way stronger now. 38 did get GM Steel from us last end of KVK, so they're even stronger. This is going to be very close in my opinion. I think they're going to need to split. If, example, 136 allies with these two, I don't think 38 is going to be able to beat all of these. Together, I think they're going to need to ally. I don't know if it's going to be 136, 209, 136, 73. Here, I think there's going to need to be allies. Now, what is advantageous to 38, if they do end up fighting all three, is they have here 170 in the same faction. They have a SPS, which is probably a third alliance in blue to just kind of disrupt. This is probably not dead. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun KVK to follow for sure. I think this is going to be a lot of fighting. I will probably be able to post some Legion of Frostborn fight, because if we end up fighting 231, although they're way stronger than us, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have to see. Now, the issue with that is, again, we only have one Medusa player in 277. And they probably have like one guy has 5, so we're going to have to find a way. All right, let me read a few questions before we end the stream. I know I've been rambling about the KVK matchup, but again, KVK matchup means a lot. All right, posted in general. All right, I'll send you the code in a second. I just want to. Yes, please, Mohamed, just send the March in the general. Since you're right now on the stream, I'll be able to review it right away. Yeah, I just want to make sure I give it to Joshua because I've received more than one DM. So, I think VIP representative, I think it's 2K. I'm not sure. I don't want to give you the wrong information, but I think it's around 2K. I'm gonna have to, like, don't take me for granted here. You might have to ask one of the mods in the Discord channel, but it's around that. I think I got it when I was around VIP 12. But again, it's not about the VIP level, guys. It's about the amount of spending, because some free-to-play by now might be VIP 15, might not have access to the VIP personal. Okay, 1 second here. Let me just go back and show you the Discord. And this one here. All right, so here I'm gonna answer this one here, and also I have Ilya that is asking which skill she should get from the KVK shop. Now, if you want to counter Alex, the simple answer is going to be Weakening Curse. If you get Weakening Curse, you're gonna get a lot stronger against Alex for sure. It's not a 100% counter. It's not because you have this skill that you're going to win against all the Alex out there, but it is probably one of the best counter to Alex. The way you get it is simple. In the KVK shop, you are going to buy a bad skill. Example, you can go with Weakness Protection, you can go with Siren Gaze. You're going to buy 60 of that skill token. Then you're going to go in your bag and you're going to sell it. And then after that, you're going to go into the Wish shop and you're going to find Weakening Curse. I don't think I can see it because I already purchased it, so I cannot. But you're going to see Weakening Curse, make sure it's the right skill, and you're going to need to buy 60 token. You're going to be able to buy it. Now, don't be scared. If you buy the skill in the KVK shop, you're going to sell it for the same amount, 17 for 17. So one skill token is going to give you 17 Cinder, and in the shop, a skill token is going to cost you 17 Cinder. If you want to go for another skill, you can go with Energy Shield. You could go with No Escape, but No Escape is level 54, I think. 54, so No Escape is going to be extremely good. It's not against Alex, however, but overall is a very good skill. But be careful about the level. All right, let me do this one here. So here we have a Castle 43. He spends on Grail and Golden Path. Oh, 1 second. Okay, you see it. Just gonna move it a little bit. Alex Khan YSS Zenobia. The Dragon. So I'm doing 2 skill set for my main march to counter Alex Anibal. And 1 to counter fire and water teams. All right. So here your can sometimes do more damage on your Alex. It really depends what you're fighting. Example, if you're fighting double tank, it is possible that your can is doing more damage. Even if you don't have full damage skill on your can. Because at the end of the day, double tank do work against Alex, especially given your setup. You have to remember the only thing you have in your current setup that does AoE damage is the cleave combo, and this one here, what's the name already? 1 second. I just blank here. Dual Master or single target, right? So if you have a tank directly in front of you, your Alex is going to struggle doing damage to that tank, and cleave, which is your only AoE going on other immortal, is going to be the main damage dealer on your Alex setup. So it is possible that your can is doing more damage. Do you need more damage on your Khan? I would say yes and no. I would focus on my Alex. The reason here is you have guard protecting your Alex already. And guard is a very good skill. It's a token skill. It was your first token skill. You have a lot of option on increase when it comes to token skill. The first one I would do is assembly charge for my Alex. Assembly charge on Alex is going to give more AoE. Assembly charge is the best gold skill on Alex. You're going to get a very big power increase by doing that. Way more than if you do, example, Blade Vortex on your Khan. For sure. Assembly charge is extremely good on Alex. This should be your next KVK prize or token skill. After that, even before doing more damage on my Khan, I would probably go with No Escape. And even after No Escape, probably Energy Shield. After these two skills, then you can start thinking about damage on your Khan. You will be in a spot with, example, combo, cleave, and assembly charge on your Alex, which is already decent. You're going to have guard, no escape, and energy shield. So you're going to have a lot of skills on your support and your tank. You could go with Blade Vortex to replace, example, the Adrenaline Rush or even the Berserk. You could place the Berserk instead of Paralysis, which is going to be better down the line. Paralysis is going to lose some value as you go deeper into the game. But another option would also be to double down or triple down on your Alex and go with Wind Rage. Wind Rage, Cleave, and Assembly Charge is the best free-to-play combo when it comes to token skill on your Alex. That or not red. I said free-to-play. Oh, 1 second. Let me just look here. Now, if you're building 2 skill setup when it comes to fighting Hannibal Alex, the best way to fight Hannibal Alex with a YSS and Alex is really to make sure your Alex survive. So you already have guard, which is good. You already have Dual Master, which will allow Zenobia to heal him. You could always see if a physical shield is needed on your Alex. Sometimes a bit more defense is better than more damage against hybrid. But I still think overall this is still better than hybrid. You should be fine. I would not focus too heavily. But if you want one more skill to really kill off the hybrid team that might be beating you at the moment, it's going to be Weakening Curse. Weakening Curse is also going to be a very good get down the line. I said Blade Vortex as the third after No Escape and Energy Shield. You might even want to do Weakening Curse before getting a damage kill on your account. All right, guys, what I'll do is I'm going to send the Discord link again in the chat. If you have follow-up question, if you have more that you want me to review, just join the Discord, send it on Discord. I'll be able to review as much as I can. I still have quite a few that I need to go through. I'm trying my best to go through them. I know it's a lot. I'm planning to do a few off screen, so not during live stream or video, so that I can catch up because there's a lot of players that are still waiting for a review. What I'll do is I'll just post a text on the forum so that you can review and follow up with questions as well. I really want to try and clear up most of them next week. Thanks, guys, for being here. Again, Joshua, don't worry, I'm sending you the code in a moment. And next week, I don't know if I'll be able to do a live stream, but the next time I do one, I should be able to get another code for you guys. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.